What then?
So now we'll be doing our lecture third lecture in the plant reproduction. Okay. So we have already discussed about fertilization, right, in the plants, and we have also discussed like what is zygote, what is female and male reproductive system in plants. All this we have discussed. Okay. Now we are going to proceed and where we are going to learn about seed. Okay. See what happens is that seed, you know that it is formed from which part of the female?
What, ma'am?
From where the seeds are formed after fertilization?
I didn't understand.
The question is from where the seeds are formed after fertilization. Is it from the stigma, style, ovary, ovules?
Okay.
So it is formed from the ovules. Remember, we have discussed the seed coat is the ovary is also there. Then you have got the ovules, which will result in the formation of seed. Then we have got the fruit cover, right? All these things we have studied in the previous lecture. If you have forgotten, please watch the video again. Okay. So now we are going to discuss what is seed. So it's a small embryonic plant enclosed in a covering called the seed coat and with some stored food. So what is the stored food in the seed? In the previous lecture, I have mentioned about this. So do you remember what is the stored food in the seed?
Ma'am, store food means the nutrition and the proteins inside the seed which is stored.
Yes.
And we eat them while we eat them while we have the seed.
Yes, that is true. But it is also called as endosperm. Remember, in the previous lecture, we have mentioned about the endosperm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So stored food means it is present in the endosperm. Okay. So the formation of the seed completes the process of reproduction in the seed plant. So when we talk about plant reproduction, we start from the pollination, right? So pollination. So pollens will come and they will fall on the stigma, and the pollen tube will form and it will cross through the style and reaches the ovary and it fertilizes with the ovule. The ovule will finally become the seed over here. Okay. Then only we say that the reproduction in the plant is over. Okay. Now, why are seeds advantageous for plants? Why? Because
seeds are advantages
yes. Tell.
for plants because like from seeds only the plants are formed.
Yes, that is also there. True, very good. So it also maintains the dormancy until better environmental conditions arise. See, that's why we suppose we don't have good climate, right? And let us say that for the farmers, the good soil is not ready. So what the farmers will do? It is going to wait, right? And it keeps the seeds and it stores them. Correct? So whenever we have got good climate, good soil, good water availability, when all these factors are present, then only the farmers are going to put the seeds for the germination, right? So it maintains the dormancy. Dormancy means it keeps it in the seed form only. It does not allow it to germinate. And for germination of the seed, what all is required? Any ideas, Siddhi?
What, ma'am?
For the seed germination, what are the conditions?
Ma'am, for seed germination, we need air, water, and suitable temperature.
Very good, very good. Air, water, then temperature. Yes, very good, very good. True. So the second advantage is it offers the protection to the young plant at the vulnerable developmental stage. Okay, it means what? It is going to protect the small plants. It also contains enough food supply until photosynthesis is possible, and it helps in the dispersal of plants. So what does it mean, dispersal of plants? Means from one place to another place. If you want to carry that particular plant, it is always better to carry the seed rather than entire tree or a plant, right? So which is suitable
Yeah.
to carry? Seeds in the pocket
Seed.
rather than taking the entire pot with the flower or pot with the plant, right? It is always easy to
Yeah.
carry with the seeds, right? Okay. Now, did you understand all the points sitting
Yeah.
over here?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? So just read once so that while reading more, it will become clear to you.
What, ma'am?
Just read all the points here.
Okay.
If any word meaning you don't know, just let me know, okay?
Maintain dormancy until better environmental conditions arise. Ma'am, can you just explain the meaning of dormancy?
Dormancy means it stops at that particular stage. Like it remains inactive. So if it's a seed, then it will remain as seed only.
Okay.
Okay.
For protection to young plant at vulnerable developmental stage. Contain adequate food supply until photosynthesis is possible. Dispersal of plants. Ma'am, can you explain me the meaning of vulnerable?
Vulnerable means susceptible. I say sensitive, very sensitive, nazuk, soft, right? So we know that young plants are very delicate in nature during the starting of their developmental stage. So it is going to provide the protection. Like how small baby needs protection at the initial stage, in the same way, the young plant also needs protection at the starting of their development. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? Okay. Now, the different parts of the seeds with seed structure. So, two categories have been divided over here. So, first one is over here is, you can see we have got the external as well as the embryo. Okay. So, external means you can see the seed pod and the xylem. Now, what is the role of xylem over here? It helps in water absorption. Now, what is the seed coat? Seed coat the function of seed coat is to provide protection.
Okay.
Okay, it is also called testa. Now, look at the structure of the seed over here. So, this is like common bean. You can take as a rajma bean also, or any other bean you can take. You can see that there is a xylem as well as a seed coat. That rough top covering on the seed is the seed coat, which is also called the testa. Okay.
But ma'am,
Yes, ask.
every seed does not have a seed coat now.
Yes, yes. All seed, yes, very correct. All the seed coats, all the seeds does not have the seed coat. That's true. So, anyway, so we have got different types of the seeds over here. Monocot, dicot. I'm sure you must have heard about that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll come to that. Slowly, we'll come to that. Now, if you look at the part of the embryo, so it has got cotyledon. It is leiden, okay, cotyledon. So in this case, you can see that there are 1 and 2 cotyledons are there. So this comes under the category of
embryo.
Yeah, but it is also a dicot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have got the epicotyle, plumule, and radicle. So look at
epicotyle.
Yes, epicotyle over here. Can you see? See in the seed, first you have got this place radicle. Radicle from where your new sprout or new plant is going to start. Okay. And later from here only the roots are formed. Then on the top of the radicle, you have got the hypocotyle, and on the top of hypocotyle, you can see like the small plants had started germinating over here, right? So that is your epicotyle. Getting? Let me clear the image. Now look at the image over here. Yeah. What happened?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear? Okay. Now look at the plumule. Plumule. So again, you can see it over here. The plumule are the first leaves in a germinating seeds. Plumule are the first leaves which you see. Okay, so those are your plumule, and the radicle later is going to form the roots. Clear now?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, don't worry about it because this all we are going to study in detail. So just the introduction. So now what you have to do is just remember all these parts. So take 1 minute time and just remember these parts in the over.
1 minute. Just a minute. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now tell me what are the different parts present in the embryo?
Ma'am, in embryo there is a cotyledon. Cotyledon is the outer coat of the seed. So, yes, ma'am. Firstly, there is a cotyledon, and then there is a epicotyle. Ma'am, epicotyle is the stem, like the
Yes.
stem of the newly formed plant, and then there is a plumule. Plumule is the leaf, the first leaf of the
Yes, correct.
plant, and the radicle. Radicle is the part from where the seed starts.
Yes, good. So now this is the same thing with more details. Okay, so here like you can see very clearly. So you can see the cotyledons over here, the huge parts of this bean has been opened. So here you can see both monocot as well as the dicot has been shown, right? So monocot, one example is maize or the corn, rice, wheat. So they all come under the monocot, and like beans, they come under the dicot. Okay. So first let's talk about the dicot seed over here. So you can see that there are two cotyledons, two are there. Okay. Then again, can you see it over here? Radicle over here.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is your phylum over here. Then above the radicle, hypocotyle. Above the hypocotyle, you have got the epicotyle. And these are your first leaves, the plumule. Okay. Now, on the top is your seed coat. And seed coat is made up of testa and tegment. So in your text, it is testa only given. So don't worry about the tegment because later only you will study all those things. But it's good. It's suppose you're preparing for other higher exams or Olympics. Then if you're preparing for that, then you can remember. So seed coat, the function is to protect the seed, and it is made up of testa and tegment. Okay, and the embryo is made up of plumule, epicotyle, hypocotyle, radicle, and cotyledon. So this was all about the dicot. Now let's see the figure in the left side. So here we have got the monocot, and what do we see over here? Entire, it's only one seed coat is present. Okay, so one only single cotyledon is there, and here, and then you have got the seed coat. Okay, seed coat is there. Now this is the endosperm. What is the function of endosperm over here? It stores the reserve food, right? Just now we have
Yeah,
discussed
yeah.
that it is storing the food, right? Endosperm.
Yes.
Okay.
Endosperm.
Yes. Now we have got the embryo. Again, embryo over here. Different parts are there. So later we'll study about this. And what we see is from the embryo only. Later, your new young plant will come. Okay. So slowly we'll study everything in detail. So today's your job will be to remember all these different parts and their function. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Now, seed coat, it is also known as testa, and in few places we have also tegmen. Okay. Now, what is the function of seed coat? The seed coat protects the embryo. Now, it can be of varying thickness depending on the seed type. So, see, if you see rajma beans or chana, so what do you see over there? The seed coat is very thick and hard, right? Now, if you take
Yeah.
these, if you take the corn, if you take the other monocot, then what you see, it's very soft. The moment you open and if you see, it is soft, right? So, different seeds are going to have the different thickness of the seed coat. Okay. Clear? Shall we move
Okay.
ahead?
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about the hilum. So what is hilum? It is the scar from the seed being attached to the parent plant. So when you actually detach any seed from the seed pod or like from the plant or from the tree, there is a portion to which from which it is attached to the tree, right? So that attachment to the parent plant or the parent tree is called the hilum. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Let me show you. See, if you suppose just imagine that you have got the what to say, mango is there. Okay, so mango inside we have got the seed.
Yes.
There is an attachment of the seed with the fruit and the plant. So that scarring is called the hilum. If you open and if you watch the seed, okay, there you will see that there is a scarring. Scarring means there is a cut marker where you can see it is having some attachment. For example, in the rajma bean also, if you see, some kind of thing, black color dot will be there. Okay. So if you haven't seen, just ask your mom to get some rajma or any chana dal. So if suppose this is your chana, on the top you can see some sort of hole type thing is there. Okay, so those are known as the hilum. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, they try to show in this figure also. Suppose this is your bean over here.
Yeah.
And this particular portion, the attachment, okay, that is the hilum.
Yes.
Yeah. Now the embryo. So the embryo is what which forms the new plant later once the opportune conditions are present. So what are the opportune conditions for a seed to develop into a new plant?
What, ma'am?
I'm asking what are the conditions, opportunities or the conditions at which the embryo can develop into a new plant?
Ma'am, to develop into a new plant, we need the temperature so that proper temperature, and it needs water and sunlight for the process of photosynthesis.
Yes, very good. And what else? There's one more thing.
And
And you must have heard about the humidity.
yeah.
So it needs water, which will be absorbed by the roots, sunlight. So okay, let's go one by one. So why does a plant needs a good temperature?
And then the plant needs good temperature because like if we take the example of cactus, then cactus can bear sunlight, but if we give water to it every day, so it will be damaged.
Yes, very good, very good. And what will happen if you have got a tulsi plant and you're giving water, or sorry, if you're keeping at very high temperature, like it's very hot, what will happen to the plant?
Ma'am, it will dry.
Yes, very good. It will
Even
get
if we give it enough water, then also it will dry.
yes, yes, very correct, very correct. Good. What will happen if you put more water into the plants?
Ma'am, if we put more water in the plants and the roots take more water, then the plant will be damaged. Like,
Yes, but what happens? Like, what happens when there is an excess of water to the plants?
mm,
What kind of damage happens to the plant?
ma'am, the plant begins to like, if we give more water, so the plant begins to just,
Hmm.
uh, weak type.
See, what happens is that, see, we know that if suppose there is less water, so the plant will dry. This is clear, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, less water, you know the plant is going to get dry. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
suppose more water is there. More water is. Now, the thing is, you know that the roots are present inside the soil of the plant, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, one second. Let's go back. So, we have got roots over here like this.
Yes.
Then we have got the
Yeah.
stem. And then we
Yeah.
have got the leaves like this. Let us just say, imagine that these are the leaves. And then we have got the flower. Let us imagine like this. Something like this.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Now we know about the less water condition. Now what happens if suppose there is a excess of water or high amount of water is there? So what will happen is that if it is even in the pot or in the ground, sometimes what happens because of the rain also the water will become stagnant over the place where the plants are present, right?
Yeah.
So whenever there is excess water in the soil, you have got air pockets.
Airport.
Air pockets. Do you understand this air pockets? See, the
No,
soil
ma'am.
is not like clay. You can see that there are so many holes in the soil. Pores are present.
Yeah.
See, pores are there. The correct word is to use pores. Okay. Now, these
Okay.
pores are required so that the air and oxygen can reach into the roots.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Okay. Now, what will happen is suppose you have got the excess amount of water and there will be no air pockets. So, what will happen?
Ma'am, the plant will not grow. Like it plant needs air and the roots too need air. Na?
Yes, yes. So, see, even though we know that plants give out oxygen, right? And it
Yeah.
takes CO2. But at night, even plants take oxygen. Okay.
Yeah. They take oxygen and give out carbon dioxide.
Yes. So that's why the plant also needs air pockets so that it can take the oxygen. If suppose so much
Yeah.
water is there won't be any air
Yes.
for the plant to take. And what will happen finally? The plant is not able to survive. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So finally they will start wilting. It is called wilting.
Okay.
Wilting. Okay. And the damage you can see from the plant leaves. So what happens to the plant leaves is you can see that they start turning into brown color. Okay, and then they start
Yeah.
to wilt. So you must have noticed if you have got any plants or at your home, just try and see if you don't give too much water. If try that you can try that. Giving no water for 2 days and then suppose next week you can give excess water. So what will happen to the plants? So this kind of small experiments you can do at home. Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
Next, about the cotyledons. So already we have discussed that there are two types of seed, okay, dicot and the monocot.
Monocot.
So dicot example also we have seen. Those are the beans and the
Beans and
pulses.
rice.
No, rice comes under monocot. Okay, rice,
Yeah. Wheat.
corn, all these comes under the monocot. Whereas in the dicot, beans, pulses, all like in the pulses also you have got so many dal, chana dal is there, moong dal is there, right? So all these comes under the dicot seed structure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cotyledon is the first leaf that germinates. So in a seed, what is going to be first getting activated is the cotyledon. It is filled with the stored food that the plant uses before it begins photosynthesis, and that is stored food is nothing but your endosperm only. Okay.
Ma'am, can you repeat what you said just now?
So I am saying that. So first of all, you remember this entire structure, right? Seed coat, cotyledon, epicotyl, hypocotyl. This is in the case of dicot seed. Now, just see the case of monocot seed also. So you have got the seed coat over here. Below the seed coat, you have got the endosperm. And
Yes.
endosperm function is to provide food or the nourishment, nutrition. Okay. Then below the endosperm, you have got the cotyledon. Below cotyledon, epicotyl, and at the end, it has got the radicle. So you can see that there is a huge difference in the structure of the dicot seed as well as the monocot seed. Can you see the difference in both the cases?
Yes, ma'am. In the dicot seed, there is like there are two parts, and then monocot seed, like they can't be opened, like they are closed.
Right. So dicot seed you can open, and also you can see even the tamarind seed. Like when I was a small kid, I used to play with this tamarind seed. So I used to put into the water and see how it germinates and all. So very beautiful. From there, you can see the first leaves, humule, and the roots also.
Which seed?
Tamarind, tamarind.
Ma'am, tamarind. Okay.
Okay. So you can play with those also, you can put into the water and just see how nicely they actually germinate, and you can see this first leaf also and the roots, all the different parts of the seed you can see in that particular example. Just try it for
Only in. Ma'am, it germinates only in a few minutes.
No. It will take time. It will take time.
Okay.
It might take 2-3 days. Not that fast because it has got very hard seed coat. It is difficult to break also.
Okay.
So the cotyledon is the first leaf that germinates. It is filled with the stored food, that is your endosperm, and that the plant uses before it uses photosynthesis. So when a particular seed is there, that time it cannot do photosynthesis. Okay, so that's why they have got the food storage. So once, if suppose anyone is asking why can't the seed carry out photosynthesis, so what will be your answer?
Ma'am, I will say that because there are no leaves, so how will they do photosynthesis?
Very good, smart. So we know that leaves carry out photosynthesis, but with the help of what pigment it is?
Ma'am, they use.
It is commonly known as pigment, because of which all the leaves are green in color.
Yeah.
What is the name of that pigment?
Okay.
It is called chlorophyll. Have you heard about this?
Yes, ma'am, I have heard. Actually, I forgot about that.
It's okay. So don't forget now. So chlorophyll is the green pigment because of which leaves are looking like green in color, and they are responsible for the photosynthesis. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's talk about epicotyle and hypocotyle. So they are the basis for the plant stem. So if you see over here, can you see in the figure? So they have shown how nicely it has germinated. Okay. So the first thing what you see over here, the radical which later forms the root. Okay. Then you have got the hypocotyle. Above the radical, you have got the hypocotyle. Above this, you have got the epicotyle. And from here, your first leaves will start forming. Those are pure. Okay.
Okay.
Clear? So this is how your seed, if you open up, right? So then you can see it actually. And they grow upward in response to the light. Just give me 1 second, I'll come back.
Then I was on.
Okay. So this is what we were discussing about, right? So
Yes.
they are the basis for the plant cell. So this we know. Epicotyle and hypocotyle. Hypo means, what is the meaning of hypo? Below. Anything below. Epicotyle means above. So it is known as the epicotyle above the cotyledon and a hypocotyle that is below the cotyledon.
Below the cotyledon.
These grow upward in response to light. So this is obviously we all know that your stem will go in the upward direction and your roots will go in the downward direction, right?
Yeah.
So one small assignment I'm giving you. Okay. Your small assignment. Why does all plants grow upwards? That is against the gravity.
Against the
Gravity. Question is clear to you?
yeah, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, I also don't know why they grow upward.
I know that you don't know. So that's why it is an assignment. Because now it's your job to find or ask your parents or your other friends, you can ask especially, why always the plants are growing upwards and not downwards. Downwards only roots are going, right? But the stem, the leaves, everything goes and moves upward. Okay.
Upward.
So you need to find out why and get me the answer in the next lecture, which will be on Wednesday. Right? On Wednesday.
Ma'am, can you just wait for? Ma'am, can you just wait for a minute? I'll just write the assignment.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, written.
Written?
Yeah.
So the question is clear to you, right?
Yeah, ma'am, question.
So any doubts in today's lecture?
No, ma'am, no.
Right. So I'll be stopping here because I have prepared till here only. And in the next lecture, we will discuss more about the seed germination, etc.